Hey, sports fans, PBZ Sports Chaos. And we're getting into our last 2 weeks of the divisional picks, and we love it. It's the NFC East because I love the Cowboys. It's the AFC East because we love the Pats. And now PB loves the Miami Dolphins as well, his new hometown team. So these next two shows are going to be epic. And we're going to get right into it. PB, I was with a bunch of Giants fans 2 weeks ago, and they got a Giants in the playoffs, potentially a Super Bowl contender. And I'm like, really? Okay, let me think about that a little bit. And as I researched this show, I'm like, are you kidding me? Here's what I'm going to give you. I'm going to give you two bold predictions. One, the Patriots will win a Super Bowl again before the New York Giants ever do. So number 7 before number 5. Number 2, I'm in my 60s. The Giants may never win a Super Bowl in my lifetime ever again. Take that to the grave. That's all I'm going to say about that, all right?
Okay.
All right, let's
Wow.
get into it. So, by the way, I will give the Giants credit for their draft. They did some pretty good work in their draft. I like the Jackson Dock, obviously, who played you know, Peyton Manning yesterday, I guess, apparently. But the Abdul Carter is going to be an absolute stud. He's going to be a challenge for every team that plays them, that's for sure. And I love Cam Scatterboo in the fourth round, the running back out of Oregon, I believe it was, Oregon
No,
State.
Arizona State. Arizona
Arizona State,
State.
that's right. There you go. I love that pick. So they did all right in their draft. As far as the status go, running back Tyrone Tracy's number one in the depth chart. I don't know. I hopefully Scatterboo plays because I don't see that happening. Neighbors and Slayton a wide receiver. Okay, I think Neighbors could be a star, right? The defense will be challenging. That defensive front. Now they get Abdul Carter. They get Sexy Dexy. They get Brian Burns, right? Kayvon Thibodeau. They got a good front seven. The back four, not so sure. But what do you think about the schedule?
Yeah, well, that's another problem for them. They have a tough schedule, and it doesn't help the fact that they're playing the AFC West is one of their divisions because that's a pretty tough division. Um, and even though they have the benefit of the last place schedule, right?
Yep.
But I'm looking through their and I agree with everything you said. I think they had a good draft. I think this is a team that has the potential to improve a little bit. Um, it's
I
just they're
think
in a
PB.
rough.
They got three quarterbacks, which means what?
They have none.
There you go. Right?
So they and their division's tough. I mean, I don't see this team winning a game in the division. They could lose both to Washington, Dallas, and Philly. They might squeak one out, some lucky win here, but
See
they're
that.
to me, they're 0-6 in the division.
Right.
And then you look outside the division, you got to play the West. So that means they got to play Denver, they got to play Kansas City, they got to play the Chargers. I mean, this team has a tough schedule. And if I look down at some of the games I think they could potentially win, I mean, I'm talking about maybe at New Orleans,
Yep.
maybe. I mean, I don't even know if I want to say at Chicago. I don't think so. I mean, maybe at Vegas. I don't. This team has a tough schedule, man. I have them at 3-14. And I think that might even be, you know, their under over is 5.5 in Vegas, by the way. So I like the under. I don't see this team winning 6 games. What do you think?
You, I'll give my boys for the New York fans a little bit of credit. I'll give them. I won't go as bad as 3-14, though. I do that. I have that as the basement. I have 5-12 as the ceiling. I'm going to go in the middle of the road. I'm going to go 4-13.
4-13. Okay. Yeah, you got them squeezing out an extra win over me. I got them at 3-14, but this team could be competing with the Cleveland Browns for the number one overall draft pick next year.
Totally agree. I totally agree. All right, let's go to Big D, Dallas. Dallas, I like the kid that they drafted out of Bama offensive line, Tyler Booker. He'll help in the loss of Zeke Martin. But they lost two of their offensive line already, Tyler Guyton and Tyler Smith. Both are hurt. One of them may not come back the whole season. That's going to be a problem if they don't come back. I do love the kid they got from BC, Donovan Ezekaru, the edge kid. He is going to be a star in this league. He's not going to be as good as Abdul Carter, but he's going to be a star in this league. The other kid I like a lot, Jaden Blue, the running back out of Texas. So
Yep.
they got some talent on this team for sure. What do you think? By the way, George Pickens, is he going to finally get his head on right or not? Because if he doesn't, then this blows up this whole team, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And does he make, Dak better? Does he make CeeDee Lamb better? Does he help that offense or does he hurt the offense? And that's the
Because
question.
we're missing the obvious, the big one. What's going to happen with Micah, right? If
Micah
Mike is
Parsons,
not
yep.
signed quickly, this team is going to blow up. Unfortunately, they got to get Micah signed because the team's already starting to have a little turmoil. They're all starting to rally around Micah. Like
Yeah.
Trayvon Diggs is already saying, "I don't know if I want to play here again next year." So
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, right now you could make an argument that, historically over the last 30 years, the Miami Dolphins, the Dallas Cowboys, and the New York Jets could be the three like worst teams in the NFL. If you want to look at it in that thing.
Browns.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like they just can't put anything together. They can't advance in the playoffs if they even get there. There's too much of a stigma now, I think, with the Dallas Cowboys. It's
Yep.
just
Yep.
it's just not the team. All that being said, they have talent. They have, the ability to win football games. They have stars. They just got to bring it together. They're kind of like the Yankees in a way. Like they spend all this money, they got all these stars, but yet they can barely make the playoffs if they do at all. Um, I got them. I got them at 10-7. Here's the interesting thing about their under over in Vegas. It's all over the place. You can get as low as 7.5. I found a line at 7.5. Now you have to lay 135 to make 100 if you want to pick the
Okay.
over there, but that's all you have to do is go 8 and 9. At 8, you can do 8.5. It's plus 125. So you're still getting plus money. If you think the Cowboys can win 9 games, you're getting plus 125. And if you want to go to the 9.5 line, it's actually plus 200. You double your money if the Cowboys can get 10 wins this year. I like them. I actually would take that bet. I think they can get to 10-7. But what does this tell you when Vegas is giving you double money for them to win 10 games? Vegas thinks they're going to win 8 or 9 games this year.
You know, it's funny, PB. So I've been hearing this for a while, and then to get prepped for the show, I went through the schedule, and I'm like, the only bona fide losses, they're going to split the Washington and Philly series. All right, they're going to split that. It's going to be at Philly week 1, they're going to lose. At Washington week 17, they're going to lose, and then 14 at Detroit. I said they lose that game. After that, my toss-up games are Green Bay, the other game with Washington, the other game with Philly, at Denver, KC at home, Minnesota at home, Chargers at home. They have a now granted, last year was not a good home schedule. They didn't play well at the Big D. That's a challenge for them. They got to get over that. But if they play well at home this year, I get them going. Hey, all this is predicated on one thing. Does Micah get signed in the next week or two? If it's not, everything's all different. But I'm going 12-5. Micah gets signed in the next 2 weeks.
Wow. Okay, that's pretty aggressive. All right.
It's because of the schedule. And again, they have to win their home games. If they don't win their home games like they didn't last year, then they're going to suck. But they got a favorable schedule, in my opinion, with their home games.
All right.
All right, let's go to Philly. Philly so-so draft. They got a lot of holes, a bunch of guys left. They got Jihad Campbell, a linebacker from Alabama. I like him. Andrew Makuba, I think is how you say his name, a safety from Texas. A guy I like a lot. He's not going to start, but he will be in that lineup eventually. Drew Kendall out of BC will play. Another BC kid being mentioned on the show tonight. So we'll see. They still have the offensive wide receiver room. It's probably the best in the division, right? With Devontae Smith, A.J. Brown, Jahad Dotson, which they brought from Washington a year ago, right? So they're going to be tough to beat. The defense is solid with Carter, Smith, and Nakobe Dean up front. They're still going to be a tough team. What do you think?
Yeah. And not to mention the second year for Cooper DeJean. That guy was awesome last year.
But yeah,
He's one of my
I made a note of that too. Yeah, the DB's is rock solid.
he's one of
Blankenship,
my
Jackson, DeJean.
yeah, he's one of my favorite players
Yeah, I agree with you.
right now. I really like him. Just last year that hit he made on Derrick Henry, he just wasted him. I was like, man, this guy, I love this guy.
Yep.
So I got Philly at 11-5. I'm sorry, 11-6. The under over is 11.5. So I guess that means I like the under because I don't have him winning 12 games. I have him winning 11 games, which I think is enough to win that division. Because I had Dallas only at 10-7. You'll see what I have Washington at in a minute. But what I did was I looked down the schedule and I think they go 4-2 in their division. Right. And then they have one, two, three, four, five, six, 7 games to me that are losable games. At Kansas City,
Yep.
Rams at home, at
Yep.
Tampa, at Green Bay, Detroit at home, at the Chargers, and at Buffalo.
Yep.
So out of those 7 games, if they
There are
go,
charges too, right? There are charges in week 14.
yeah, I had that. Yep, I had that one. So
Okay.
out of those, I have 7 games. So out of those 7 games, I think they go 3-4. They go 3-4. So that gives them 4 losses there. 2 losses in the division is 6 losses. That's how I came up with an 11-6 record for them. They could go 4-3 in those 7 games. That'd bump them to 12-5. But I'm going to be a little conservative here and say 11-6, which they're right on that cusp because they're 11.5 in Vegas right now for under over. I wouldn't bet the under at 11-6 because I think this team can win 12 games, but I'm not betting the over either. I'm staying away from it.
You, PB, I got them losing all 6 losses are on the road. KC, Green Bay, Dallas, Chargers, Washington, and Buffalo. And then those other games, like you just said, Rams at Tampa Bay, Denver at Minnesota, Detroit, which is at home, and then the other Washington game. Those are all tosses, but I got them just losing those 6. I got them 11-6 as well.
Okay. Fair enough.
All right, let's go to Washington. Another team that's so in the draft. I mean, Trey Amos, second round pick at quarterback. Apparently he'll start. But this team hinges on 2 things. Will they sign Terry McLaughlin? And will Deebo Samuel be the real Deebo Samuel on this team? By the way, I do have to love the 2 backups to those guys, Noah Brown and Luke McCaffrey. I think they're rock solid, but they're not number 1s or 2s. They're 3s and 4s. They're really good 3s and 4s. So what do you think about this team?
Yeah, and can Jaden Daniels have a sophomore year and not go into a CJ Stroud mode?
Right.
That's
Yep.
another thing that we have to hope for there.
Wait, they did sign Von Miller, right? So they got Von Miller playing for them this year. That's a huge pickup.
Yeah, he's getting up there in age, but he still can have an impact.
As well as Bobby Wagner. But if those 2 guys stay healthy, they're going to be solid on defense.
Yeah, but I look at this team's schedule, and again, they got to play both Philly and Dallas twice. So at best they split there. I still think they probably can pull off a 4-2 in the division, but outside of the division, though, it's pretty formidable schedule here that they're looking at. I have them at 10-7, which would tie them with Dallas for second place in that division because Philly would be 11-6, Dallas and Washington both 10-7, and then of course the Giants at 3-14.
Who you got them losing to? Let me ask you, because I'm in between. I got 11-6 or 9-8. Who do you got them losing to?
And the under over, by the way, in Vegas is only 9.5.
Okay.
I think they lose week 2 at Green Bay.
Yeah, I get that.
I think they drop at the Chargers. I think they can lose that one.
I get that.
The 2 in the division that I mentioned, right? They split those 2. That's 4.
Yep. To Dallas and Philly. Yep.
At Kansas City is 5.
Yep.
Detroit at home is 6.
I get that as a loss. Because Detroit's going to be an Avengers tour, right? They lost in the playoffs this team, right?
Yeah, and they got to go over to Europe and play Miami. They got to play Denver, and they have to play at Minnesota 3 straight weeks. They could lose one of those games as well. So there's where I got them at 7 losses.
Okay, you know what? I forgot about the Miami game. There you go. So I got that. You know what? I'm going 10-7 then. I'm with you.
All right. So we both have them. We're same on Washington, same on Philly. You have Dallas 2 more wins than I do. And you have the Giants. You have the Giants with 1 more win than I do. All right.
And I don't even want to give the Giants that much credit. Would you say 3-14?
I had them at 3-14. You had them 4-13.
Only because of their defense. Only because of the defense. But 3-14 could be very easily with 3 quarterbacks. So nice. All right, we'll do AFC East next, and we'll wrap it up before we get into our preview show for the season, right?
Yeah, preview show for the season. We got to do a college preview. We'll do a little fantasy special too. So,
Hey, man.
All
right,
right,
buddy. Nice talking.
All right. See you.